Welcome to Amped, where the only thing amplified are the biomes. Anyway, we're back here in this tunnel system that connected the second village to the main lagoon. And while I was off camera, I discovered a third village. See, this is the tunnel the way it went. This is in the overcompensation chicane, where I either misread the compass and went a little too far that away, or it pointed me wrong a little bit. And this is the path that doubles back to that point, which is the accurate position of where this tunnel was dug. Anyway, when I found the third village, which points that away, and we'll talk as we travel. Anyway, I have come up with a standard when I found the second village on how connecting will go. In the first village, I just went along with the traditional way of getting around, which are modified pathways and stone pillars, as well as bridge work. So to keep things standardized and try to link them all together in some way, shape, or form, or to come out in the lagoon at a certain spot, we now have a standard in which the bridge, like what I'm on right now, or the tunnels, if we hit the good old F3 key, you can see in the Y, will be at the 70 block position vertical. That way, of course, like I said, if we can link villages together like we did with 2 and 3 with this tunnel, it'll be very easy to do. And that's how I've also done this one. And this one has a lot of cobblestone bridge work. So unlike the last tunnel, there's not quite nearly as much cobble left over. And of course you can see I've left random chest line around, and I would store cobble in them. We'll just take that. You might notice there's hardly any here. I'm going to show you what I've been doing with all the cobblestone, besides making bridges, that I have used to make something else. And of course, as you see, there are doors every once in a while. That's when I come across a ravine or cave system, or even a door outside that is not swamped with enemies, and I could safely add one in. There were some occasions in the original tunnel where I simply bricked over such areas and stutter. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world of Amp biomes. As you can see, most of this is a diagonal run, which really shortens the trip from that node that we started. We are going to need a lot of this. I'm going to bring it over to... Okay, I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to bring it over to something else that we're working on. So what we're going to do now is just ride the rest of this tunnel system, because I always want you to see the effort that goes through this. Okay, still not hungry yet. So the one thing about being on horseback is you can't see your hunger bar. And here are the steps that help to bring us up to level. And here comes village number 3. Very small one. And over we go, off we go. As you can see, when I found it, I protected it. Everything is good. First try, the lighting was good. You got a villager over here. You're a crook. Well, this fence doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. There is a rhyme and reason for it. And up here we have a garden that, well, a couple of gardens that kind of fell out of the village. We got steps up here. We are going to get rid of those too. It goes up to this garden. And there was a building up there, but just like in the second village, it's just too far out of the way to protect, and I used the resources that made up the aforementioned building, and there you go. I also noticed that I see a pointer, because before I discovered this village and the second one before, I was sort of out here, just out of visual range. In this case, because it's all behind that hill, just out of range visually of, where is it? Oh crap, I can't see. That's not good. Okay, there's the village. I mean, just a little out of range, splat. But, you know, I'd rather kersplat than not get here safely. This was just out of range, and so was the other village. So what we're going to do is, there was something else I wanted to show you, but in order to show that to you, and Horsey is up on a fence. Don't know why. Actually, we can get rid of a couple pieces of fence here. So what I'll do is I'll just get off the horse. Actually, just one. That's no longer really needed. So I can use a torch just for symmetry purposes. And where did he go now? Oh, there he is. Seems to like to go off on his own. So anyway, yeah, Horsey can't go through one wide gaps. Anyway, what we're gonna do now is head back to the second village, but that's gonna be very boring. So when we come back, we will be in the second village. Alright, we're back. Just waited for night to end because it was pretty close. There's Horsey. Here we are back in the village. And I don't remember if I brought you up to speed here, but I put a couple small outbuildings over here so to help the village grow a little bit more and keep them away from those two doors over there. Anyway, that's something else I wanted to show you, because while I was getting to this point, I never noticed. Remember that there was a building right there? Well, it kind of alluded to something, and I never noticed. Now, while I've been off, I've been over here. I've been around this neck of the woods quite a few times. Over into the this section. And I pretty much searched this area, and then I went the other way, that way. But what I didn't see, and it's been staring me in the face all this time, look up there. The second half of that guy down there. And I totally missed it. So what I'm going to do is, I want to take some measurements, so what I'm going to do is pause the camera, and when I come back, I'm going to have some numbers in my head that I'll probably forget, and we're going to go and visit that end. As you can see down there, I've fenced off a little piece where I'm gonna join that with that other piece of the village that's way up yonder. So I actually did jot down the numbers of where that part of the village is to meet. But per usual, I mean, I've done a little bit of work up here, but one of the things I gotta also do is, per usual, protect the village. Although there's only one occupant up here. So I don't know if it's actually worth doing. And I went up the wrong hill. Well, actually, it's sort of the right one. Because I used this one to get to this one. Then I made a stairway system that gets us there for the most part. There's the lower field, which that's been taken care of. As you can see, with torches I lit up the route that's easiest. The easiest way to get there. Although what I like to do is get rid of any tall grass that's on the route to make a path. Make a path that's somewhat obvious. So, get rid of that, get rid of that. And just using the rotten flesh to get the food stores, keep the food stores lasting a little longer than it would without. Alright, so here we are. And of course, typical thing, clear it out. And right in here we'll throw in a gate. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these. Torch, torch. So there is a villager in this village somewhere. You can hear him. And I won't bore you with all this. I'm just doing some of the basic work right now. There he is. All by his lonesome all the way up here. Maybe somebody's up there. I did discover this village, but I never went up there to actually see what might be in store for us. So that's a little something I kept for us to discover together. I didn't want to cheat you out of anything. So what we're gonna do is, that was bad planning, is work our way up and see what we got. This may take a moment. We are trying to get to the opening. I mean, we're getting pretty close. The only reason we're actually... Oh, throw a torch here. Torch down there. And a torch within. Just so we don't let any bad guys get in here. Let's see if there's anything else up here. And there doesn't appear to be anything. It's just that building all by itself. And here's the roof. Yeah, that's the only structure that's here, so I can do is head back and seal this off. There's no real need for it. Actually, there is a need. Torch here. Torch down there. I'll put those back. Like I said, I'd never gone in here, so... I'll take out some of these so we have easier access in. Yes, nice and smooth, just the way we like it. Just want to be sure that we're nice and safe up here. Yeah, throwing right on there. Yeah, we should be fine. Now let's see what treasures we have. Like I said, I saved it for you guys. I know. In fact, as you saw, I made the path up here. Ooh, bread. Well, actually, that helps prolong the food, so... Iron sword, that's actually not a bad thing. Oak saplings. Here, have some seeds to go along with that. Wow, I feel like I just hit the lottery there. Although, the iron sword, not a bad thing. There, just make that a little better. So we discover this wonderful little piece of property, which I will go through the trouble of protecting. And of course, this is a slow, boring process, which I'm sure you're not going to care to watch. So what I'm going to do is do the good old cutting of the camera, and when we come back, I'll put an entry point right here. When we come back, this place should be protected fairly well. I mean, it's not much more to go here because it's a small piece. Nonetheless, I will use some dirt here. Nonetheless, it's something I'm going to do, and I'm going to finish up. And as I lose track, I will say yet again, see you on the flip side when this project is pretty much over, at least the securing part of it. Per usual, I do a little check on how well I lit things up by pillaring up very high and looking. There's the village that I saw, the part that I did see, but not this part here. As you can see, it's lit well over there. It's definitely lit well over there. It's lit well over here as well. And it is on this side. The only thing I have not lit up, and it needs some attention, as well as some way of barricading off this piece of land here, is to light up the top of that building. So now what we gotta do is we gotta make more fence and get rid of this piece up here. Yeah, I gotta figure that one out. So we'll be back in a moment. This will be quick, so I'm not running the timer. Fix the breach point up here. If anything comes from up here, they'll land on the roof. the fence blocks off that path, and then if they go over there, then fall down that way, they're behind that fence. And if they manage from over there get over on this fence, they probably can sneak their way around, go here, dead end. They could just jump, but that fence is blocking that path. So we took care of that. There were a couple of breach points that monsters were getting in, and that was because I found some dirt blocks that were just high enough that monsters could climb over the fence. Those have been taken care of. And of course the lighting is still good, so we know everything is good that way. So now we'll start the timer. There we go. Yep, I pressed the timer because now we are going to start another project. Hence why you see 64 ladders. I'm not sure how much of that I actually needed. And there's one thing I failed to do, and that was to record a y-axis of where I wanted to build a quote-unquote ladder elevator system that connects the lower village down there with the upper village over here. Kind of forgot a little bit of detail. Well, you know, occasionally things like that happen. Oh, there's the horse. I'm surprised he's showing up. So somewhere in there is our location, and we gotta go back, find that, then come back up here. Good job, me. I kinda need that X coordinate there. I mean, Y. Anyway, we'll be back up here. Get that started. Well, while I was protecting the village, before that came to an end, a zombie apparently got to the villager that was here. So it is pretty much almost a loss. But it's not a total loss, because we could always stick around at some point, hope for a villager zombie, have some golden apples on us and potions, get some of the village activity back. Anyway, time is kind of running towards a premium at this point. I finally got my coordinates. I needed the y-axis and finally got that. So that being said, let's see where we can put it. I'm gonna hit the good old F3 button and let's see. Looking for Z of 24.99. Well, actually we don't care about Z right now. We can head there later. 455X, which is right where I'm standing. So somewhere in here. You know what? Might as well make it right here. We're gonna make our little ladder elevator system. Okay, I still have a shovel. Good. So, I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm just going to start, because there's still more I want to show you. Okay, this will get it started, as I said. And right up next to this house, which is actually not a bad place for it to be. Yeah, that works. And I'll do is here. I'll get rid of that. And I'll put a torch right there so there's lighting. So we got the 455. Now what we gotta do is hit the y-axis. Oh, I've realized I had the air conditioner running while doing this. So I don't know how many. I know there's at least 2 segments where we had that thing roaring in the background. My apologies. So now I gotta go to a Y of 66. putting in ladders as we go along. That shouldn't be much of a problem. So, okay, we need to plop down some of that stuff there. There we go. Now what I need is actually the 24, 25, 25, 26. I'm jotting that down as we speak. That is where this hole is. Z, negative 25, 26. I think it'll actually be safer because the golden rule is don't dig down. To start at the bottom and work our way up. So when we come back, we'll have a system. Well, this should come to no surprise whatsoever. I derped it. Yep, no surprise there. I wanted to come out here, but I did not take into account that I wanted to come one block over, way down there. So here it is, the protected ladder elevator that goes all the way down to the bottom. It's quite a haul. And just to keep it from being totally pitch dark, I threw in a random torch along the way. I still have some leftover ladder pieces. Another gate, oak wood. I moved things around that house a little bit so that I could fit this whole shaft in. The crafting table that was in that house originally has been moved over one. Hey, and right there, this block here is where I was supposed to actually start digging. What are you doing down here? You're a crook. Anyway, time is very minimal. So I wanted to show you one more thing. And I've been hinting it through the whole episode, and that is... oh boy. It's about to turn dark. Actually, why do I keep coming in here? And keep forgetting to shut that off, because it's just making noise. Anyway. So we head in here. And question you've probably asked, this wore off. Leather is something. The question was, what am I doing with all this cobblestone? Well, when night falls and we can sleep it off, I'll show you exactly what we're doing with the cobblestone as soon as... okay, I got all that I want. And I actually aimed for the bed. Now, as I've mentioned, and I'll repeat because it's been a lot longer than I thought it would take, is that as I was building the tunnel systems that connected the second village and the third to the main lagoon where home is, I've done something with this. And it's all over in this general direction. Now, as I said, as I was going through here several times, I never saw it, probably because of the cloud deck that's there now, is that... alright, die. Is that I did not see the village up there, which we just built that ladder elevator to, that we pretty much protected for no reason. Also, when I was exploring, halfway between recording the previous episode and the episode before that, I was exploring out here, and I came out of this roofed forest. I believe it was this one. I came out of one and started exploring this plain somewhere around here-ish or so. And, I mean, just barely out of view of both sides of that village. So we have that. In fact, you can kind of see I actually had a pillar system put in over here dictating to go this way instead of that way. So I was exploring out this way, and we need to run. And I got limited time. So then when I was exploring this, anyway, getting a little ahead of ourselves here because of how I tried to make sure that I didn't show it. Anyway, to commemorate the fact that I found, I'll tell you what this is later, but this is the big project. It's an off-camera project, not terribly important. But I was exploring. I think I came out actually around in there somewhere. I was exploring this little swampland here. These I planted myself. And then I found another, what I ultimately found out later, building that thing, is another plane. So I came running this way, and then I was coming along like this, and I said, oh, little pit. I'll just jump right in. And fell into the lava, died, and lost everything. That's about, like I said, between the previous episode and the episode before that, in which that happened. There's nothing really there. So with all these missteps that have occurred, I'm using all the cobblestone I can that I have used to build the tunnel systems to build what I'm calling Tower of Derp. Derp Tower. Now this is going to be the largest planned villager community I've ever attempted. So what we got here, on this side, as well as the other side, a couple of gates to lure in villagers. I know this is not the most realistic looking setup, but it is what it is. And cured villagers, as well as us, can come in and out as we please over here. And on each floor, we have apartments. A lot of the doors are not in yet, and you can see we still have fencing and what have not. So the whole building is built of derpy-looking cobblestone, and all the cobblestone collected to make those tunnels are being used to make the Tower of Derp. And I'm just going to put most of it away right now. So that's what we have. Doors don't go all the way up. You got stairs and ladder elevators that go along. So get a little bit of a peek as to what is here. And of course we need windows. And just to keep me safe, and the villagers in the future, There's a fence so zombies can't get to them. While I was out and about, or was it over this way? I can't remember. I happened to have found... Actually, it was over there, I believe. Okay, time's a little bit at the premium. So what I'm going to do is cut the camera, and we'll come back where I get to where I want to go. Alright, I found it. Took a moment, but it wasn't a ditch, it was a ravine. And inside the ravine, if we can get a safe point of entry, no we can't. Although we'll force it to happen. There we go. Wow, that lighting was kind of weird. So I found this, and within it, quite a bit of coal. But I also found this here, iron. So let's grab some of that. Found some more iron over, or that away. What is iron and creepers everywhere? Ah, no. Well, we have a piece still. So creeper came from somewhere, obviously. So now we gotta figure out where. Alright, there's another piece of iron over there. And we got a cave system. And what I'm going to do is just go in enough to keep me safe for a moment. That should work. And more iron over here. Okay, this one looks like it goes into a cave, which... Uh-oh. Attempted denial of access failed. Alright, I need that guy there. There. That's what I was attempting. And at some point I'll make access and we'll go that way. Right now, just care more about... Oh boy, it's getting dark. Let's see how much iron we got. 13. Hey, let's just run that over to... Let's run that over to our little safe haven. Okay, let's actually make it this time. We're gonna go back and there's the Tower of Derp over there. We don't want to fall in a pit again. Yeah, we're pretty much safe now since we're getting to the water. And we'll come back a little later and wrap everything up. A dead end. That's what this tunnel wound up being. The one that went to our ravine over here. So that being said, let's start our little adventure on this side. So what I'm going to do is make our way, making sure that keep an eye on our back. We don't want anything to happen. Want to be sure. Oh boy. Well, Creeper, the winner was not you. Not that time. I'll hopefully keep things a little safer. Yep, plop. Can I hit that block? No. No. Yes. There. Just a bit safer. Looky what we got. Double ravine, pretty much. Okay, we got less than a minute to go. I'm just gonna kill time by going down a little bit more, just making a bigger and better trail. So this ultimately goes to a bigger and better ravine. Make sure nothing's coming from behind, although at this point that would be what we refer to as too late, if that were. Oh, we got a welcome wagon that probably wants to join us pretty soon. And we got 7 or so seconds left. So I'm gonna do is, yeah, that'll do for now. Stop the timer. And head up here where it's safer. Yeah, I see the iron, but time is now up. And that's this exciting episode of Amped. But the only thing exciting is the biomes. Things went a lot slower than I thought, but I showed you pretty much everything I wanted to show you. That'll be it for now. Georgia551 saying hope you enjoyed and have a good one.